Hey performers, have you ever screwed up on stage? Like playing the wrong note or singing the wrong lyric or, God forbid, saying something that you shouldn't on stage? I have, and let me tell you one very important fact. It's really not that bad. Let's talk about screwing up. Welcome back to Danny Robertson Music, where we try to help you become the best possible performer that you can be on whatever stage you choose. I'm Danny Robertson. Thanks for joining me again this week. If you haven't seen us before, do me that favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also check us out at DannyRobertsonMusic.com, where there's a lot more that you can find out about performing live on stage. Today we talk about a fun topic regarding performing on stage: screwing up. I admit that I am an expert at screwing up on stage, but you know what I've learned over the years performing is that screwing up does not necessarily have to be a problem when you're screwing up on stage. You can mess something up. You can even do it royally, and you can make that part of your show. So, what kinds of screw-ups happen, and what kinds of things can you do about them? First type of screw up is an obvious one. You play an instrument and you hit the wrong note or the wrong chord. Now, there's a rule in jazz music that a lot of musicians stand by, and you may have heard this one before. If you play a wrong note, play it twice. That means it was intentional, and that makes it look like you did it on purpose. So really, did you screw up at all? The other thing with regard to this that you need to be well aware of is that the average person watching your show does not listen to the music as closely as you think they do. Most of the time, a spectator is going to listen to the music and see the show for everything that it is, as a whole, not as its individual pieces. So if and when you screw up on stage, it's very likely that most of the people in your audience will never notice. And if it's such a big screw up that they do notice, that's when you get to make it a big deal and say that you screwed up. If you play something wrong and it's a royally obvious screw up on stage, you know what? Sometimes the best thing to do in those cases is to own it. Make it a big deal that you screwed up, because that makes it fun for your audience to watch, and that makes it part of the show. Sometimes when you play music wrong, it's actually fun to call it out and say, well, we screwed up. Let's just keep going. The second kind of screw up that happens on stage is when you sing the wrong lyrics or forget the lyrics altogether. I think a lot of people get scared that this will happen, and so they get really worried and make sure that they have all their lyrics right in front of them on either sheet music or a tablet or something like that. And quite frankly, I never do that. I purposefully enjoy when lyrics get screwed up, because then if I'm singing, I'm put on the spot to come up with something that works. And that has made me more creative as a performer. I once was performing at a bar where I was required to sing a rap, and I totally flubbed in the middle of the rap. It was Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby. I lost my train of thought and couldn't get back on until the part where it says something, 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 let the DJ revolve it, right? I couldn't come up with anything except for, I'll fuck it up and let the band revolve it. And that was one of my favorite screw-ups, because it was a really bad screw-up for me, and yet I still made something fun out of it. Don't worry about forgetting lyrics. Everybody forgets lyrics, and everybody makes mistakes on occasion. If you forget a lyric on stage, your audience is still going to be with you. They're going to relate to that mistake, and they're going to be on your side and rooting for you to find your way back. Now, the thing that you can do in this case is learn to be creative. Learn to think up random lyrics that you can just throw in. They don't even have to be perfect. If they rhyme, if they don't rhyme, it doesn't matter. Just go with it and see what you come up with. What happens is your brain tends to creatively think of an alternative in those moments. So give it a try. The third kind of mistake that you can make is actually a big one, and so you want to try to avoid this at all costs. It's stopping a song in the middle of it unexpectedly. Let's say you're a band, a 5-piece band, and you've got drums and bass and guitar and a vocalist and a keyboardist or something like that. Your guitar player, who does most of the music in that song, breaks a string or breaks a couple of strings and has to change them on the spot. If the rest of the group stops playing to accommodate the guitar player, that shows the audience that they have to be skeptical of the band's ability to perform well. You should be able to keep going and continue the song and make it work with or without all of the musicians. Now, there are extreme examples of this that I won't get into, but there are times when a band will stop and it makes sense. But for the most part, if a instrument breaks, like a drum head or a stick or a string or something like that, that can be fixed by the time the next song starts, a lot of the time. If it happens while you're playing, the trick is that the rest of the band needs to step it up to try to make the rest of the song work. It's not typically that hard. And like, even if a drummer stops playing, you can still continue the song without the drums. If the power goes out for 30 seconds and all of the instruments lose their power and you still have a drummer on stage, the drummer can still do the kick drum, something to kind of keep the beat going, even if the power goes out. And you can fix that problem most of the time fairly quickly. The last kind of mistake that you can make that I want to point out today is the hardest one to come back from. It's when you say something on stage that either doesn't fit or it offends somebody. And either way, it makes you look bad. I'll give you a great example of this. Let's say you're playing in a wedding band and you're playing at somebody's wedding and you get done with a song and your singer starts talking to the crowd and she says, "Greg and Megan, you guys look fantastic. You're an amazing couple, and I'm so happy that we got to be a part of your big day." Now, the problem is, that's not Greg and Megan. That's Brandon and Shannon. All of a sudden, you've congratulated a bride and groom that don't exist, and you've offended the bride and groom that are there. Well, what do you do in that situation? Well, the truth is you kind of have to own it. Did I really just say that? And look at your band and go, "I am so sorry. You guys know what I meant. I said the wrong names, but I am talking about Brandon and Shannon, the most amazing couple here, and I don't know why I got their names wrong." When you play private gigs, a lot of the time there are names that you're going to have to say on stage, and it can be hard to remember those. So you may want some kind of cheat sheet on stage for something like that. And it doesn't have to be anything big. You just have to have something that you can reference when you're talking on stage. But if you screw it up, you're going to have to find a way to own it. It's that simple. So when it all comes down to it, screwing up on stage can give you one of two outcomes. Either it's not really going to get noticed by your crowd and it's going to look like you did it on purpose, or you're going to screw up so bad that you're going to have to come clean with it and own it. Either way, you can have a little bit of fun with it. Let's recap really quick. If you screw up playing music, you can either play it twice and look like you did it on purpose, or you can call yourself or somebody else out for it and make a big deal out of the fact that it was a musical screw up and have fun with it. If you sing a wrong lyric, use that as an opportunity to get creative and make something up on the spot. Sometimes that can be your best material. If one of the musicians needs to stop playing for whatever reason, don't let that be a point where the whole group stops, if you can help it. And if you say something that you shouldn't, own it. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please do learn that mistakes happen pretty much every show. Learn to take them as an opportunity, okay? I wish you the best of luck on your next performance. Have a great rest of your week, and take care.